and we were working also with the difference in use with will to, right? The difference in use with will and going to. And today I want to continue working with this. I want to continue with the perfect tenses. Not all perfect tenses, because not all perfect tenses are included in the exam, but basically present perfect and past perfect are included. And so present perfect and past perfect, to manage them, very well. All right. So let's give it a look to the present perfect and past perfect use, right? Let me see. I have, um, let me share with you presentation with the present perfect. It's right here. Perfect, present, perfect continuous. It's right here. So it's right here. Very good. So let's get started with the structure of the present perfect. Well, we know that as for the structure, it's a it's a tense where we are going to first with the subject as any other tense. We know the subjects, we are going to represent them with the pronouns. We have I, he, she, it, we, you, and they, right? And we are going to use some auxiliary verbs, right? In this case, for I, we are going to divide them. For I, we, you, they, we are going to use the auxiliary verb have. And for he, she, it, we are going to use the auxiliary verb has, right? So we basically divide them in these two sets. And then we have has for he, she, it, and have for I, we, you, and they. And then after the auxiliary verb have and has, well, we are going to have the verbs in past participle form. Verbs in past participle form. Well, there's no other way. We remember that yesterday we were talking about the verbs in past, and we have the regular verbs, which are added ed, and the irregular verbs, which can change or can stay the same or can change only the pronunciation. In this case, it's exactly the same with the past participle verbs. We have regular and irregular. Like for example, the past participle of go is gone. The past participle of wash is washed. Regular, irregular. We keep going with the read. Don't worry, Miss Aldaris. We got read, which in past is read, the same way in past participle. There are some verbs which do not change, like cut, 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 or like put, or we have verbs which change, completely, like write, which is great, write, grow, greeting, right? And so on, no? Say, said, be, been, right? Do, did, done, and so on, right? So person or subject, auxiliary verb, past participle. We can use complements too, right? And what about if we want to make this in a negative form? Well, we only use the not. That if we want to make it with a short form, we might say hasn't, and we might say haven't. There's a spelling mistake. Thank you, Alex. There's a spelling mistake. Right, row greeting. Thank you. All right. So this is the way negative form. The interrogative form, as yesterday we were saying, we use the same structure for interrogative form in all tenses. The WH question, the auxiliary, the person, the verb, the main verb, in the complement. So if I want to make a question with this, well, I would say, for example, where, let's say, where have the auxiliary you, the person, been the bear all day? Where have you been all day? Right? And we have a question. Okay. Uh, we use some specific vocabulary with these type of tenses, the perfect tenses. But before we go on, I wanna be clear about the use. And here we have the use of the present perfect tense. It says, yesterday we were talking about the past. When we were talking about the past, we said that it is for completed actions in the past. We said that it is for finished actions in the past. Oh, take it easy, Alejandro, because you're in all the presentation. So
Sorry, sorry.
worry, don't worry. We said that the past is for finished actions, completed actions in the past, but the present perfect it's for unfinished actions, actions that are not completed or not totally completed. For example, it says, when should we use the present perfect simple? Unfinished actions. We use this tense when we want to talk about unfinished actions or states or habits that started in the past and continue to the present. You see that? It's something which started in the past and still continues in the present. That is very important. We usually use it to say how long we need since or for. Usually we use it to say how long and we need since or for. As I was saying, there is some specific vocabulary we might use with this tense. For example, in this case, we have since and we have for, right? In the case of since, when do we use since? Well, basically, we use since when we talk about uh, a specific time in the past, right? A specific time in the past when something started. Like, for example, I've mhm, I've been online since 7:40, right? 7:40. So since 7:40. That is a specific time in the pens. Specific 7:40 is very specific. So I've been online since 7:40, right? But what happened with 4? Ah, then we use for when we talk about a period of time, right? Not a specific time, but a period of time. Like, for example, 7:40, right now it's 7:50, so I've been online for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, right? So I've been online for 10 minutes, right? So in this case, we're talking about a period of time. For is for periods of time. Since is for specific times in the past. All right? Very good. So we often use stative verbs. Example, we've known Karen since 1994. She's lived in London for 3 years. I've worked here for 6 months, right? Here we have the short forms, I've, she's, right? But yesterday we were also saying that the verb to be has the same short form. For example, with the verb to be, he is, we also say his. And with the present perfect, he has, we also say his. So how can we know? How can we know what this short form is used for the present perfect? And how can we know when it is being used for the verb to be? What do you think, Marcus, Aldaris? What is the difference? How do you know that his means he is, and how do you know that it means he has? How can you know? The very participle. That's right. Because if his means the verb to be, the following verb needs to be with ing, with a gerund. He's playing, that means he is playing. But he's worked, that means he has worked, right? So that is very important to be careful with that short form, right? Thank you, Marcus. Uh, Here we have since and for. So we are right here. It says since and for. We use since for fixed times in the past, 2004, April 23rd, last year. The fixed time can be another action, which is in the past simple. Since I was at school, since I arrived. We've known Sam since 1992. I've liked chocolate since I was a child. She's been here since 2 p.m. We use for with a period of time, 2 hours, 3 years, 6 months. We've known Julie for 10 years. We've been hungry for hours. She had a cold for a week, right? So what I said, since and for. Okay, let's go to the next. So that is one use, right? One use on finished actions, all right? Actions which started in the past and continued right now in the present. So they are not finished. They are not over. We still do that, right? So that is one of the uses for the present perfect. Second use, finished actions. Life experience. These are actions or events that happen sometime during a person's life. We don't say when the experience happened, and the person needs to be alive now. Mhm. We often use words ever and never here, right? Like for example, I've I have been to Tokyo. They have visited Paris 3 times. We have never seen that film. So it's for life experience. Okay, it's an experience we have had in a lifetime period, right? The person, as this you said, the person needs to be still alive, right? And we could either use ever or never. Like the question, have you ever? No? Or have you never? So we use present perfect for that too. With an unfinished time work this month, this week, today, the period of time is still continuing, right? So we have right here. I have seen her this month. She's drunk 3 cups of coffee today. I've already moved house twice this year. We can use present per finished time work. Okay. So for example, you see, this is unfinished time works. This month, the month is not finished. This week, the week is not finished. Today, the day is not finished. This year, the year is not finished. But when you say yesterday, oh, yesterday is finished. It's over. The day went and it's no more. I mean, it's not going to be repeated. So we don't use yesterday with present perfect. We can use today. We can use this class. We can use this week. We can use any time work which is not finished. Okay. So, for example, I've seen him yesterday. It's not correct. All right. All right. All right. Aldaris, Marcos, if you got any doubts, just let me know, okay? All right. All right. Let me see. What's the difference between to in? I have been to Tokyo. I have been in Tokyo. All right. Well, basically, the difference of to and in depends on it is a preposition, right? When you talk about in, it's a preposition of location, right? So usually we don't use in, we use to when we talk about trips or travels, right? Like for example, I've traveled to Tokyo twice this year, right? I've been to Tokyo twice this month, right? You usually don't say in Tokyo, right? In Spanish, we do. In Spanish, we do. That's why probably you get confused, Marcus, because usually in Spanish we say, he estado en Tokio dos veces este año, right? En Tokyo, right? But in English, not. Since in it's a preposition more than a preposition it's more a preposition of location, right? It's a preposition of location, of place, right? So we may use to instead of in, right? Basically when we talk about trips or travels. Like for example, when we talk about home, home, right? Where it's a place, right? It's a place. So you say, I've been in home, right? I've been in home, right? I've been in school, right? I've been in Mexico, right? That you are in the country, right? But when you travel to a place, you say to. I don't know if like the same way, gone, right? You say gone to a place. You don't say gone in a place, right? You say to a place. You don't say I go in a school. You say I go to school, right? Mhm. All right. So it depends about what you're saying, basically, Marcus. It depends that if you're talking about that you have traveled to that place, that you have uh, gone to that place, you use to, right? You don't use in, right? But if you say like school, doctor, right? The hospital, right? So you visited that place and you were there, right? So you may use in. I'm waiting because I see Aldaris is writing something, so I have a little trouble with grammar, maybe, or participating. You may say participating on that is right. Well, any doubts, guys? Any questions? You can either open your microphones with instructions. Yes, don't worry, don't worry. As you can see, we're going little by little. We're gonna go little by little. Don't worry for that. Aldaris. All right, all right. So far so good. Yes, right. So far so good. Very good. Thank you, Aldaris. All right. So let's go on with the number 4. This is important because sometimes we know how to use how to use the structure. I mean, I have been to Mexico twice this year, or I have been to Chilpancingo twice this month, right? So sometimes we know how to use the structures. I mean, how to put the words together, but sometimes we don't know when to use the structures, right? And that's why this part of the use is very important. So let's continue on with this part of the use. And it says, a finished action with a result in the present. Focus on the result. We often use the present perfect to talk about something that happened in the recent past, but that is still true, or that is still true or important now. Sometimes we can use the past simple here, especially in the US English. For example, I've lost my keys, so I can get into my house. She's for her leg. I've missed the bus, so they will be late, so she can play tennis today. So I mean, so things that happen in the recent past, and we still don't manage to finish them, right? Like basically, like I've lost my keys. If I say I've lost my keys, that means I still don't find them, right? So that's where I use the past, sorry, the present perfect. She hurt her leg, so she's still hurt, right? So that's why we use the present perfect. Oh, anyhow, as the example says, we can also use the past. Let's go to number 5. Number 5 says, We can also use the present perfect to talk about something that happened recently, even if isn't a clear story in the present. This is common when we want to introduce news, and we often use the words just, yet, already, and recently. These words are very common for the present perfect. Just, yet, already, and recent, right? And we need to be very careful about how we use them, right? For example, when do we use just? Well, we use just after the auxiliary. For example, we say he, sorry, he has, he has just gone home, right? I have, I have just said that, right? He has just finished his homework. We have just written the essay, right? We use just after the auxiliary. The same way, yet. Well, yet is not after the auxiliary. Yet goes at the end. Mhm. He hasn't, for example, we usually use yet with the negative form. He hasn't gone home yet, right? Yet. We use it at the end, right? Participating. Yes, Aldair, don't worry. Okay, yet. We use it at the end. Mhm. Already goes after the auxiliary, like in the case of just. Already, we have already read that book, for example. Recently. Recently can go after the auxiliary or it can go also at the end. Mhm. For example, I say, for example, you have read that book recently, or have you read that book recently, right? Or it can be also here. I haven't seen uh, Joanna recently, or I haven't recently seen Joanna. Okay, so that's more or less the way we use it. Recently at the end, just and already after the auxiliary. Mhm. Just and already after the auxiliary, yet and recently at the end of the sentence. Mhm. And here we have some examples. However, in the past simple, we also correct these cases, especially US English. Example, the Queen has given a speech. Mhm. I've just seen Lucy. Mhm. The mayor has announced a new plan for the railways. Oh, very good. And finally, let's go to the last used of the present perfect. Been and gone. This is for Mr. Marcus. You were asking about this. So let's pay attention to this part. It says, in this tense, we use but, been, and gone as the past participle of go, but in slightly different circumstances. You see, Mr. Marcus? Been and gone. We usually can use been and gone as the past participle of go, right? It's common to see that. It's common that people say instead of gone, been, when we're talking about trips, travels, visits, right? But in slightly different circumstances. Look at this, Mr. Marcus. It's exactly what you were asking. We use been often when we talk about life experience. You see, when we talk about life experience, to mean that the person we're talking about visited the place and came back. You see? So it means when you use been, it means that you went and you came back. I've been to Paris in my life, but I'm in London where I live. So he was in Paris and he came back. That's what you use to, right? He's been to school today, but now she's back home. They've never been to California, right? We use gone often when we're talking about an action with a result in the present to mean that the person went to a place and is at the place now. So when you say you went and you came back, you use been. When you say you went and you are still there, you use gone, right? For example, where's John? He's gone to the shops. He's all the shops now. Julie has gone to Mexico. She's in Mexico now. They've gone to Japan for 3 weeks. They are in Japan right now. And that's it. And that's it. So you see, Mr. Marcus, that's why you use to, because been and gone are about a trip, a visit, and you usually say to when you're talking about direction. So you don't use in because you're talking about direction. All right, very good. Any doubts? Any comments, guys? Nope. Let's go to the activities. All right. Let's go to the activities. And here is the activity, guys. I don't know what happened to Carla and probably because of the rain, right? Carla and it is. No, they say it's raining. No classes today. All right. It says make the present perfect simple and choose positive, negative, or questions. So you have here some sentences. The only thing you have to do is to fix the words and make them present perfect sentences. Example, the first one, she passed the exam. How can we make, and it is a question. So how can we make it a question? Well, if it is a question, then we need to start with the auxiliary verb. If it is she, we start with has, right? Has she, the past participle, passed the exam? That's the way. She passed the exam. That's the way. Uh, well, it's capital letter, the first one, sorry. You ate lunch. You eat lunch yet. Yet. Yet goes at the end. Remember, goes at the end. We say, have you eaten lunch yet? I use the auxiliary, I use the past participle, and I use yet at the end. She read the newspaper. All right, guys, I would like you to do, please, this activity. We have number 3 to number 9. Go ahead, guys, please. Can you please answer it? Very good, Margaret. Very good, Miss Alderis. Let's see. It says, has you read the newspaper today? Haven't you studied French? It shouldn't be a question, but it's okay. Mhm. An example of being in. They have been in London for 6 months. Uh-huh. Right? It means that they are still in London, mister. It means that they are still in London, right? If they say they say they went on a trip, like they went and they came back, you say to, right? But they are still there, you use in. That's the difference. Okay, and let me see, because I was reading Miss Aldari's answers. They have been in London. Where have you been? We haven't gone to Paris. She hasn't seen the Lord of the Ring. He hasn't. You're my mother. Very good. Very good. Has she read? You haven't studied. Have they been? Where have you been? Haven't. She hasn't seen. I think the verb is not. So is it okay or am I? What do you mean, Miss Alderis? What number? In number four. Number four. Study. Yes, you made a mistake, Miss Alderis. It's studied in past participle. Mhm. Uh-huh. Very good. All right, guys. Very good job. Let's continue on. Let's try some other activities. I have another activity. Let me play it for you. Here is it, guys. Now let's try with this other, please. From 1 to 5. Only these 5, please. Let me, these 5, well, they are mostly questions. These 6, please. 1 to 6. Please, guys. Try with these 6, please. Excellent, excellent, Miss Odoris. I haven't gone to the library. Well, it was not negative, but it's okay. I mean, you didn't make a mistake. Have you kept a pet? It was not a question, but it's okay. Uh, have you eaten Thai food before? Right? Has it rained all day? Rain. Miss Alice, rain. The past participle of rain, Miss Alice, is rain. Okay, like this. Then you have forgotten to type. Okay, 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 Marcos Aldariz. In the number five, you made a mistake because it says, who have we? Who have we? Ah, no, it's okay. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Who have we? It's okay. Sorry, my mistake. Who have we? And the number six, having okay. Good job. All right. So this is about the present perfect. And what about the present perfect continuous? When we talk about present perfect continuous, we talk about activities that started in the past, continue to the present, right? Like for example, for the present perfect continuous, we used the verb, the past participle of the verb be, in this case, been, and we use a verb with ing. In this case, been is only verb in past participle. All the other verbs after been go with ing to make a sentence in present perfect continuous. Example, he has been cooking all day. She has been studying all day. It has been raining all day. I have been working very hard. Okay, we have been uh, we have been speaking about it. You have been playing for too long. They have been talking for 2 hours. Okay, so we use the verb in past participle, only been, and then the other verb goes in ing form in gerund, and we make this a continuous form. Okay, very good. If we want to make this negative, well, the same way we use has in negative, as in negative, as in, and have in negative, haven't. The way we do it. And if you want to make a question, well, the same. Where have you been? And then the very past participle. Working. Where have you been? Working all day. Where have you been working all day? Right? This is the way we do it. Very good. Okay. In the case of questions with the auxiliaries have and has, we usually don't make contractions, right? We usually don't make contractions, especially with have, right? Sometimes you can find contractions with has, but with have, usually in questions, we don't make contractions. Okay? All right, let's practice with another activity. If there are no doubts about the structure of this present perfect, let's practice with another activity. Here we have another activity. Here we have one activity about present perfect. continuous. It says, we need to make this sentence. It says, she worked here for 5 years. How can we make this sentence in present perfect continuous? Well, we say she's, she has been working here for 5 years. Wait, she's been working here for 5 years. That's the way we make it. That's the way we make it. Present uh, continuous sentence. Next one. I study all day. I study all day. How can I make it a present perfect continuous? I have been studying all day. By the way, do it a lot recently. Do a eating a lot recently. The way I make it a present a perfect continuous statement. Okay? Right, guys. Please help me answer number 4 to number 10. Okay, go ahead. Number 4 to number 10, please. Great, Mark. Because we have been living in London. Very good. He has been playing. Very good. They have. I have been. So I'm really hot. All right. She has been to seniors. He has. It has been raining. The permanent swap. You In the number 10, you have, right? Because it's have, not has. And number, very good. That is, we have been in, she has been playing football. They have been learning English. I've been cooking, so I'm very hard. She's been going. It's been raining. That have been sleeping. All right. All right, very good, Aldaris. Very good, very good. So just be careful with those mistakes. Sometimes there are mistakes that we make because since we are writing really quickly, sometimes we don't pay attention to those small mistakes. But in the exam, they are very important. All right, guys, let's continue on. So that's about present perfect and present perfect continuous. Don't worry. Uh, Next, after we finish this review of the basic tenses, we're gonna have another class where we are going to see the difference between past, present perfect, and past perfect. Right now, it's just a very general overview to remember how to use them and how to structure, how it works together in these basic tenses. All right. Let's continue on, guys. And what's next? Well, we have present perfect. We have present perfect continuous. Now let's go to past perfect. What is past perfect? Past perfect is used to talk about something that happened before something else in the past. For example, what happened today? Well, today I got up. I got up in the morning. And after I got up, sorry, man, I got up. And after I got up, I took a shower. I took a shower. And after I took a shower, I drove my daughter to school. And after I drove my daughter to school, I sorry, I went to what tenses is this? We're gonna talk about the past perfect, that is, but right now this is past. Right now this is past, but I'm going to explain it in a second. After I dropped my daughter to school, I went to the office. And after I went to the office, I had an online class. Very good. So this is what I did today, right? Then, what if I want to talk about, or what if I want to talk about two of these things? I want to put two of these things in one sentence. Well, one of these things happened before and something else happened after, right? For example, I could say, I could say, oh, before, say, before I had an online class, before I had an online class, I had driven my daughter to school. You see, before I had an online class, I had driven my daughter to school. See this? The first sentence, I had an online class, is in past. But the second sentence, I had driven my daughter to school, is in past perfect. Why? Because this first sentence happened second, and this happened first. So first, I dropped my daughter to school, and then I had an online class. So since this happened first, since first I drove my daughter to school, this happened before this one, right? And when I talk about something which happened before something else in the past, I use past perfect. Okay, I'll repeat. What did I do first? First, I drove my daughter to school, and then I had an online class, right? The action which happened before something else in the past goes in past perfect. We use past perfect before and think in the past. All right? Is it clear, Marcos and Dariz? I'm gonna make another example. Let me if this number one and this number two chart not helping a lot. Let's say uh, what happened what happened before I drove my daughter to school? What happened before I drove my daughter to school? Well, before I drove my daughter to school, what happened? Oh, I had taken a shower. So first I took a shower. Then I drove my daughter to school. So the first action is that I took a shower. That is first, right? That is first. And then is I drove my daughter to school. So this one happened first. When we talk about something which happened before something else in the past perfect, before I drove my daughter to school, I had taken a shower. For past perfect, we use auxiliary had and the past participle of the verb. In this case, taken, right? In this case, taken. All right. I'm gonna make another example, but let me erase this. Let's make another example. It says I went to the office, right? It says I went to the office. So I could say I had gone to the office. I have gone to the office before I had an online class. So what happened first? I went to the office. And what happened second? I had an online class. So I had gone to the office before I had an online class. The first activity, the activity that happened first, goes in past perfect. And the activity which happened second goes in simple past. Use past perfect to talk about something which happens before something else in the past. If we make this in a timeline, we could say, let's say we have a timeline. And this is my day today, right? What is first? I got up. And what is last? I got up is like very, very early, right? Let's say something else. I worked. What is last? I went home, right? So these are things I did today, right? But I went home. I did it probably today at 6 p.m. And I work. I did it before I went home. So since this is before this one, with I worked, I use past perfect. And I say I had worked before I went home. right? All right. Marcos says yes. Miss Aldaris, what do you think? Is it okay? So. I don't know. What do you think? Is it better? Yes, it's clear. Okay. If we want to make negative sentences, for example, let's say, I didn't have breakfast today. And then I ate lunch, or I didn't have breakfast. I only had lunch. So I could say, I hadn't. I could make it in a negative sentence. Negative sentence are with hadn't, right? I hadn't have, you see, had. The past participle of have, had. I hadn't had breakfast. I hadn't had breakfast before I had lunch, right? Yo no había almorzado antes de comer, right? No había almorzado, right? That's what you say. I didn't had breakfast. You can make it a question too. What had you done before you got home? ¿Qué habías hecho antes de llegar a casa? Right? What had you done? One more time, we follow the structure, right? What is the structure? As I said, WH questions, auxiliary, which in this case is had, person, verb in participle, complement. In this case, the complement, it's a sentence in past, right? What had you done before you got home? That's the way we make it. All right. What do you think, guys? What do you think, Miss Aldaris? What do you think, Marcus? Is it okay? So? It's okay, teacher. Thank you. Great. Let's check this use. Here we have more about the use of past perfect. A little bit more about the use of past perfect. It says, we use past perfect for a finished action before a second point in the past. As I said, finish action before another action in the past. Example, when we arrived, the film had started. First, the film started. Then we arrived. So when we arrived, the film started, was started already. We usually use the past perfect to make it clear which action happened first. Maybe we are already talking about something in the past and we want to mention something else that is further back in time. This is often used to explain or give reason for something in the past. I didn't dinner, so I wasn't hungry. As you can see here, we have the contraction of had, which is with the apostrophe D, apostrophe D, right? That is the contraction of had, the short form. So it had snow in the night, so the bus didn't arrive. If it's clear which action happened first, we use words before and after. For example, in the past perfect, it's optional. It's optional, but you can use before or after. The film started before we arrived. The film had started before we arrived. Something that started in the past and continued up to another action or time in the past. This is another use. The past perfect tells us how long. Just like the present perfect, but this time the action continues up to a point in the past rather than in the present. When we use how long in the present perfect, the action happened in the past and continued to the present. But when we use how long in the past perfect, the action started in the past and finish in the past. Example, usually we use for plus the time. We can also use the past perfect continuous here. So we most often use the past perfect simple with the stative verb. Example, when we graduated, we had been in London for 6 years. We graduated, we had been in London. They had been before they graduated. We were in London 6 years before we graduated and lived there until he graduated, or even longer. On July 20th of, on the 20th of July, I'd work here for 3 months. I had work here, right? So that day happened, it is in the past, and I had already worked there for 3 months. Finally, we have another example. To talk about unreal or imaginary things in the past, we use the past perfect also to talk about unreal things, but we'll see this in another topic. We'll see this for the conditionals. So forget about this. We're not going to check it right now. Imagine it didn't show it to you. Okay? We'll see this. We'll talk about this in the condition. Right now, we're not going to talk about this because it's too much. Okay? Very good. All right, let's practice with some activities. Yes. Let's see. I have some activities right here for you and right here. It says, make past perfect. Example, when I arrive at the cinema, the film start. The film what? Since when I arrived to the cinema, the film had started. Hmm? The past participle of start started. She in China before she went to Thailand. She had lived in China before she went to Thailand. After they shellfish, they began to feel sick. After they had eaten shellfish, they had begun to feel sick. Okay, very good, guys. I want you to practice with number five, uh, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 and 12. From number 4 to number 12. Please, guys, can you answer them, please? All right. Very good, guys. Let me check. 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 Right. Okay, so if you had listened to me, you would have got the job. Didn't right until after I have left. It's very good. He had finished dinner. Now, the garden was dead because he had been royal summer. He had met very great, had forgotten or late for the poem forgotten great. She told me that she had studied. The grass was yellow because it hadn't rained. Very good. The lights went off because we hadn't paid. Uh-huh. Very good. Very good. Very good, guys. Excellent. So that's about the past perfect. As I said, we are going to continue practicing this because this is only one review, but we're gonna have more. And now these were for positive and negative. Now let's practice with some questions. Here we have some questions, guys. The first one says, "You there before we went together." How can we make the questions in this case? You go there before we went together. If we make these past perfect questions, we might say, had you gone there before we went together? Number two, she see the film already. If we make it a past perfect question, we might say, had had she seen the film already? Then we have why she forgot about the meeting. Why had he forgotten about the meeting? Hmm, very good. I want you to continue with the number four one more time from number four to number 13. Can you please guys answer them, please? Very good. Very good, mister. Right. All right, Miss Aldaris. Thank you very much. All right, guys, let's check. So, had it been cold all day? Very good. Had I read the book before the class? Uh-huh. When she arrived, had we eaten already? Great. Had we eaten? Very good. Next one. Where had you been? Had you been? Very good. Next, they had by the train. Had they traveled? Had they traveled? Very good. John had met. Had John met. John met. Great. Had you done your homework? Had she worked? Great. Pay the bill. Had I paid? Had I paid? He visited? Had we visited? Very good. Very good, everybody. Very good. That's excellent, guys. Very good job. Mhm. Excellent. Great. All right, guys. Very good. So that is about present perfect and past perfect. So up to here, we have gone with the present, past, future, present perfect, and past perfect. Those are the basic tenses. Present, past, future, present perfect, and past perfect. Those are the basic tenses. We need to manage them, right? If we know them, then we are okay. Okay, those tenses are very important because those are the most important ones. Okay, all right. Now we are going to have an activity that combines all these tenses. Okay, so it combines present, past, right? Present perfect, past perfect, future with will, future with going to. Okay? So this activity goes this way. Give me a sec. It's right here. Okay. So first we have the present of the verb be, then we have the past of the verb be, then we have the simple present, the simple past, the present continuous, the present perfect, the present perfect continuous, and we even have some modal verbs. Do you guys remember the modal verbs? We have different modal verbs. For example, we have the modal verbs should, we have would, uh-huh, could, can, may, might, ought to, right, shall. All of these are modal verbs. What happened with these modal verbs? Well, what it happens with these modal verbs is that they do not follow the structures of the regular verbs. They and the verb to be, right? The verb to be is also a modal verb. They have their own structures. So you don't say do you can, right? You don't use an auxiliary verb for this. You only say can you, right? Can you swim? In the same way with all the others verbs, you don't say do you should. No, you don't say do you should. You say should you do, right? Should you do, right? So that is what we do with the modal verbs. They follow their own structures. If you say them in negative, they are in negative. They don't need any auxiliary. So you say you shouldn't. do, right? You say them as an affirmative. I might go, or I may go, right? So that's how you make them. Mhm. If you say negative, I may not. If all of them are the same, you don't need auxiliaries for them. You use them in the way they are. Okay? With should, with can, with could, with may, with might. That's what you do. Okay, guys? All right. So this activity, this activity is gonna be for homework. This activity is gonna be for homework. Yesterday, I wanted to give it to you to do it, but since we didn't finish all the tenses, I said no. You know what? First, I wanna finish all the tenses with them, and then I give them the homework. How are you gonna do this homework? Well, I'm gonna send you this picture to your to a WhatsApp. Like I didn't create a WhatsApp group yesterday, but I will create it today. I will include you and the other ladies, okay, the other Ilse and Carla, and I'll send you this picture to your to the WhatsApp. What I want you to do is to copy the 20 sentences and answer it in your notebook. So you answer this activity in your notebook. Then you take a picture to the activity, you take a picture to your notebook, and you send it back to the WhatsApp group so I can check your answers. Okay, that's the way we are going to be doing homeworks. Okay, you do it in your notebook, you take it a picture, and you send it to the WhatsApp. Okay, so that's how we are gonna work with the homeworks. All right, is it okay? You got it, Marcus, Aldaris? Yes, very good. All right. And before we go today, because it's 9:04, so we still have time. Before we go today, so this one I'll send it to the WhatsApp for homework, okay? But before we go today, I want to practice some reading. Okay, do you guys want to practice reading? Yes, very good. Reading is one of the most important skills we have to practice because in the exam, usually the lowest scores are for reading. Mhm. All right. When we practice reading, we need to remember that for reading, you guys only have 21 minutes. 21 minutes for 5 readings. Mhm. So that means that you only have 4 minutes per reading. 4 minutes for one reading. So there is not enough time for you guys to read all the text. So here I'm going to share with you some reading strategies. Reading strategies. Okay. What are the reading? Yes, tell me about it. What are the reading strategies I want you to practice? Well, the first reading strategy is scanning and skimming, right? What is scanning and skimming? What does it mean? Well, it means that for every single reading we have, we are not going to read. We are only going to scan the text and then we're going to try to read it. But first, we are just going to scan it and look for the answers. For example, let me share with you one reading. Okay, let me share with you one reading. Let me display it. Let me right here. Okay, so here you have this reading. This reading has 4 questions. The questions we have number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Here we need to we need to put in number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, we need to put the sentences that are missing. Let me display for you the sentence. Wait, 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 wait. Mhm. All right, here we have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences. These are 5 sentences. And here we have the reading. They are only 4 spaces for the reading. 4 spaces, but we have 5 sentences. So what does this mean? This means that out of these five, one is extra, right? So we only have 4 spaces, one, two, three, four. And we have these 5 sentences, A, B, C, D, E. We need to put these 5 sentences in these 4 places. So one is extra. So if we start reading all the article and then we read the sentences and then we go back to the article and then we read the first paragraph and then we try to put the first sentence and then we read the second and the third and the fourth paragraph and we try to put the next sentence. Well, you know what? You're not gonna finish in 4 minutes. You're not gonna finish in 4 minutes. If you wanna finish this in 4 minutes, the first step, number one, the step one is do not read the article, only read the answers. Okay, read the answers. If it is questions and answers, well, read the questions and the answers. So you read the questions and the answers. If it is only answers, like this case, well, you only read the answers. Then, once you read, so you're going to read one by one. For example, you read question number one or with the answers. In this case, the number one is furthermore, children who enjoy aggressive video computers games show less pro-social behaviors such as helping people. So, enjoy aggressive video computer games show less pro-social behavior. So here we have an idea, right? We have an idea. And now that we read the first answer, we have an idea of what to look for in the reading. So we go back to the reading and we just read really quickly the paragraph. Not all the paragraph, not all the text, only the paragraph that we need to answer. So instead of reading all the article, we read only this paragraph, number one, this paragraph, number two, this paragraph, number three, and this paragraph, number four. Only these four. Not all the article, only these four paragraphs. And we are going to see if this sentence can fit in these four paragraphs. Hmm? So we have, furthermore, children who enjoy aggressive video and computer games show less pro-social behaviors of helping people. Number one says, whether like it or not, uh, violence is part of all mass media. It's on TV and the internet, in movies, music, and the video games people play. What is more disturbing, perhaps, is that it's not just in adult entertainment. On a typical Saturday morning, children's television show of 25 acts of violence per hour, which means that by the age of 18, the average person has witnessed around 200,000 violent acts. And we have four there are more video computer cholos. I don't think that one goes here. So number one is not. Let's go for number two. Let me erase because with these lines we cannot see. In number two we have, however, are violent video games the cause of violent behavior? Order more children job? No, I don't think. Now let's go for the number three. The research also suggests that video games have better greater influence than television because they are interactive. Players identify and take on the role of the killers. Furthermore, no, it's not talking about social behavior. So no, it doesn't go there. And let's see the last one. In one study, 80% of junior high school students say they were familiar with a particular violent game, but fewer than 5% of parents have heard, which proves how little parents are engaging with complex video. So, no, I don't think it goes there. But let's see in the number two. Let's see if one of the two can fit in these four. Parents need to be more aware of violent games that the children are playing. So the number one, in my case, I don't think it goes in any of them. Let's see now number two. Parents, remember, one is extra. Parents need to be more aware of the violent games that the children are playing. Try by yourself. Where do you think you can put this sentence? Look at the sentence again. Parents need to be more aware of the violent games that the children are playing. In what paragraph? This one, the one number one, this one, the number three or the number four. In what paragraph do you think you can put it? If you need to make the picture bigger, you can click, there is like an arrow, hay como unas flechitas over there in your computers, in your screen, en la esquina superior derecha de donde aparece la imagen. Just click there, le dan clic ahí, se hace pantalla completa, right? If you cannot see one. But let's try, like try by yourself, intenten ustedes. This one, and number two, parents need to be more aware of violent games that their children are playing. Where do you think can fit? ¿Dónde creen que pueda ir? Take your time. Tomen su tiempo, but try to do it. Which of the paragraph, en qué párrafo they're talking about parents? You just need to identify in which paragraph they're talking about parents. Paragraph 4. In number 4. Aldari says number 4. What do you think, Marcus? Number, would it fit in number 1, 2, 3, or 4? What do you think? Don't worry, Marcus. Okay, okay. All right. Very good, Miss Aldaris. Very good. I agree, Miss Aldaris. Is correct. So, number 4. Very good. So, yes, because this one says parents need to be more aware of the violent games that the children are playing. And it is true. This is talking about parents. And here it says one study, 80% of junior school students says they were familiar with particular ballet, but fewer than 5% parents. So this is talking about parents. This is talking about parents. So yes, letter B goes with number 4. Now, letter C. Parents of teenagers are also concerned about violent music lyrics. Parents of teenagers are also concerned about violent music lyrics. Okay, so they are also concerned. Where do you think that one can be? So it's talking about parents which are also concerned about the music lyrics. Cannot be number 4 because we did number 4 already. Where do you think it can be? For 1, 2, or 3? 1. What do you think, Marcus? Yes, very good. It goes in number 1. Very good. Because in number one, they are talking about different media that affects or influence children. And that's why it goes in number one, right? Because they are also concerned about it. Very good. All right. Now let's go for the number, sorry, for the letter D. By the age of 11, US child typically will typically have seen 8,000 murders on TV. Where do you think it can be? It says typically seen 8,000 murders. We can be number two or number three because number one and number four are done. So what do you think? Three. Marcus says three. What do you think, Miss Alberti? What do you think, Miss Alderis? Two or three? Three. Yes, it's three. Very good. It's three because it says the research also suggests. So here we're saying by the age of 11, children will probably seen 18 more. So it's talking about the research, and it says the research also suggests. Very good. And finally, well, the short answer seems to be yes. Very good. This is for number two. Why? Because it's a question and that's an answer. Right? The short answer seems to be yes. So did you guys notice that this was way faster? It's way faster, and we don't need to read all the article. We just focus on the paragraph and the answers. Paragraph and the answers. We don't need to read everything. It's only read the part that is important. The same happens with questions. If we have questions, we read the questions, we scan the text, we identify the paragraph where they are talking about it, and we try to find the answers. This is just one example. Of course, there are many other examples, but we're going to continue practicing this type of exercises with reading and also with listening. Okay? All right, guys. We're going to stop right here for today, and we're going to continue tomorrow. Okay? I'll send you the homework. Do the homework. Any doubt, any question, just let me know. And have an excellent night. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Mhm. Any doubt, any question? So far, so good? Hello, hello. So far, so good? Teacher, I have a question. Where can I see the class recorded? All right. Uh, uh, you just go to in Google, like go to YouTube, and in YouTube, look for Cambridge Institute. Look for Cambridge Institute, and then there you will see or not or you will see all the classes. Look for B2 afternoon preparation course. Look for that B2 afternoon preparation course. Or you just in YouTube just type B2 afternoon preparation course and you will see yesterday class and today's class. Uh, and that's it. But I guess for today's class, it has to be tomorrow because right now I finished, I uploaded, and I guess it will be available tomorrow. But that's how you can find the classes in YouTube. B2 afternoon preparation course. All right, Marcus. All right, Already. So I'll see you tomorrow. Have an excellent night. Okay? Take care, rest, and do the homework. Thanks to you. Thanks to you guys. See you. Take care. Bye.